Hey y'all, welcome back to Poplar Creek Farm. I hope you guys are all doing well and having a healthy and happy holiday season. Something that I think a lot of us deal with this time of year, especially as we start to go into the colder months and into winter, but even through fall and even early spring when we don't have a whole lot of sunshine and a whole lot of warm temperatures, a lot of time to get outside, we start to deal with seasonal affective disorder, which is basically a seasonal depression. It's super common. I think here in New York State, I would say a good majority of the population deals with it in some form or another. Whether it just be on gloomy days, they just feel a little more down, a little less energetic, a little less motivated to do things. I think we all deal with it on some level, or a vast majority of us do. One of the major reasons I think that a lot of people in the northern region deal with it maybe a little bit more is a lot of us are deficient in vitamin D. I was told once by a nurse practitioner that we live too far north of the equator not to be taking vitamin D, which I'm not speaking to, I'm not telling you guys to take any kind of supplements at all. Definitely talk to your doctor about taking anything before you take it. But I think that is one of the things that we struggle with is our lack of vitamin D, and it's because of sunshine. Vitamin D is the sunshine vitamin, and we need that sometimes. We need it to boost our mood. So I think, as we, especially going into, into Christmas, normally I think people kind of are coping with it well because we're typically around a lot of friends and family and able to do gatherings and just are a little bit more light-spirited. But this year, obviously, we don't have that a lot. Most people aren't getting together for the holidays, and that's a good thing. Don't get together for the holidays. Don't be gathering. Stay within your bubble. Keep yourself safe. Obviously, we do know that coronavirus is very, very much prevalent right now, and so if we can prevent it or decrease the numbers in any way, that's great. But because of that, I think more people are dealing with seasonal affective disorder earlier than usual. And I think there's some things that we can do to cope with seasonal affective disorder that isn't, having to go to the doctor and medication. Now, if it becomes, obviously, if you're ever thinking of harming yourself, anybody else, you're having thoughts of, that you'd be better off if you didn't wake up or anything like that, you need to get to the doctor. But let's try to get a little more lighthearted. I think there's some things you can do to kind of help yourself out of it. Now for me, one of the things that kind of brings me a lot of joy in the summertime is obviously my garden. And I don't have that right now. In New York State, in Zone 5B, we don't grow through winter. We can't. Even if I had a high tunnel, even if I had a heated high tunnel, the likelihood of me being able to really grow a whole lot into December would be pretty unlikely. I think November's kind of, maybe early December's kind of the cutoff for us here. Just because we do get freezing and we get snow and it's just getting late into the season for us. And I don't get to start my plants nearly as early as people in southern climates. So I have that to kind of, normally that brings me a lot of joy, but right now I don't have that. So try to come up with ways to kind of bring what brings you joy into your life right now. So something that I am terrible at is keeping houseplants alive. I can do great in the garden, and I can even start plants inside that are going to go outside and that I sell and whatnot, but I can't keep houseplants alive, not well, unless they're ones that you have to water once a month, then I can keep those alive. But overall, I'm terrible at houseplants, so that's something that I can work on. It kind of is my gardening fix, doing some growing inside. As you guys saw in my last video, I started some lettuce, which I'm going to have under grow lights. They have not germinated yet. It's only been 3 days since I started those. So obviously I'm not expecting germination yet. But that will bring me some joy. So if there's anything you guys can do, even if it's just you're growing microgreens, couldn't think of the right word, those can bring you joy. Just having some green, oh my goodness. Having some green in your house and some vegetation, but even just regular houseplants. Dabble into different houseplants and try to keep them alive. Make sure they're pet friendly if you have pets, because that's something, there's a lot of plants that I can't keep in my house that I love. I love peace lilies, but they're poisonous to animals I've consumed. So, and my cats definitely try to eat my plants. Or I can grow some catnip for my animals or, things like that. Just trying to keep some happiness something that brings me joy. I also have decided that I want to try to learn some new skills this winter. What are you doing, bud? So one of the things there's a couple things I'm trying to learn. One is knitting. I probably should have tried to learn crocheting first, but I jumped into knitting. And I am absolutely terrible at it as of right now, but it's something I've really wanted to learn, because if down the road, you know, I'm able to be home more and could potentially raise sheep for wool and crochet or knit, or even just being able to spin the wool would be really cool. I think that's something that would be really interesting. Now that's a very far down the road goal, but I figured, why not learn? Why not do something to bring me joy now? And that is something that'll bring me joy, is to learn new skills and learn skills that are, I think, almost like a lost cause, or, you know, not necessarily, knitting is not a lost cause, but things that are kind of going away that people don't do nearly as much. I think those are even cooler. So another one is soap making. I do want to learn how to make some soap this winter, and I'm probably going to do it on a really small scale, just, you know, some very basic soaps. But the goal is down the road to be able to make goat milk soap. I'd like to have goats to have goat milk and make goat milk soap. So that's something that's really exciting to me, and I'm really excited to learn that. That's going to be, a lot of these are going to be after the holidays that I'm really going to start picking up on them. Another thing is using my beeswax. So obviously you guys know I kept bees over the summer, and I'm overwintering them right now. And I didn't get a ton of beeswax at all. I got very, very, very little beeswax this year because we just didn't harvest a whole lot of honey. But I do plan on trying to use that beeswax for some lip balms that I'm going to give to friends and family. It was meant to be for Christmas, but I have not had time to get all the supplies and to do it yet. So I do plan on trying to do that in January. And that's something that'll just bring me joy. It's using, you know, what I've learned on the homestead thus far and growing on that. And so I think if you guys can do those kind of things to find some things that would bring you joy, whatever it may be, whatever craft, if it's baking, if it's cooking, if it's knitting, crocheting, painting, coloring, whatever it may be, I think that's really cool. Learn a new skill, and it's something to kind of put your mind on, like focus on, which I think helps with the seasonal affective. Take advantage of any sunny days that we get. So yesterday was a really nice day. It was nice and warm. It was sunny, and I say warm, it was like 50 degrees, like upper 40s, maybe in 50. But it was nice. I'll actually leave a clip right here. Look at the bees on this beautiful day. Oh, that's such a good sign to see. Doing cleansing flight. Especially this hive. Look at that one, and that's my weak hive. Oh, so good to see. Those are my bees getting all excited and happy, and they were flying around for quite a while yesterday because it was nice and warm. I don't think they're out today. I haven't seen them really busy at all today. It's cooled right down, but I took advantage of it. I got outside yesterday. I played with the kids. We played tag, you know, ran around, watched the animals. My animals bring me such joy, and so if I can be out there with them and just like enjoy them for a little bit when it is warmer, I will. It's things like that that combat the seasonal affective disorder, and still staying in touch with friends and family. So although we can't necessarily gather together, we can stay in touch. FaceTime, Zoom, text, call, write letters. Try to stay in touch in other ways though. I mean, it's really kind of if you can stay in touch in like simple ways, or just stay in touch at all, it's really, really nice. It's nice to have that kind of camaraderie of like, hey, yeah, we're going through this too. You know, we're all struggling right now. We're all kind of having to social distance and stay away from people and not gather as friends and family usually would. So let's stay in touch other ways, and let's you know, just be able to communicate. So I think those are some really kind of interesting and fun ways to combat seasonal affective disorder. That seasonal depression definitely affects me. I get it every year. I, you know, start to feel kind of yucky down. It's more of, for me, I think what affects me most is my energy level. Definitely goes down quite a bit in the winter, and I just am not motivated to do a whole lot, which is not good. Ow! Why are you biting me? Butt-headed biting me now. But guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and this gave you some inspiration and some tips to combat that seasonal affective. So thank you all for joining me. Please like and subscribe and join me on the next one.